on your left here in just a moment.
This ground that we're currently passing is currently being allotted, we call it the Van Trust Supplier Park, so the developer is Van Trust, and these are all is ground that could be used for the suppliers to be located close to Intel. Any additional questions?
And you said it's going to be 5-lane all the way to Green Chapel?
Yes, from the Mink Road interchange.
You said
Oh, I know it's going to bring the
So you can start to kind of see the construction that's starting to happen up here. And then the fencing that you see, the aluminum fencing, is what is considered phase 1 for Intel. They do have about just under 1,000 acres that they will be able to develop. Yeah, a few years. They're one of the last to be able.
What they do is they privately negotiate with the property owners and just kind of phase out their operations and give them enough time to get relocated somewhere else. Yeah, so one thing that you're going to start seeing, I know we've talked a lot about streetscape and things that happen behind the horse fence between private development and the road. So one thing that we've worked on with our planning commission as well as our city council is to really provide a buffer or some screening in between these large or even small private development projects and adjacent residential development. So you'll see mounding. Some of it was installed pretty early on in the project, and some of it's being installed now currently, as you see here with all this dirt work that's occurring. So these mounds are required to be installed for the zoning. They provide some visual buffering from the private development, again, for residents that are adjacent to the site. Once the project's complete, those parks will also have this very dense amount of landscaping installed either on the toe of the berms or even at the top of the berms in some instances to help provide, again, some visual buffering. Not only does it provide some visual buffering, but it also is really complementary to the rural aesthetic that is out here that existed before any private development. So we want to make sure that anything we do kind of responds to that context.
So part of the reason why we've been so successful in economic development in the city of New Albany is because we provide shovel-ready sites. So what that means is that when they purchase the ground, they are already pre-zoned. So the majority of our business park is zoned limited general employment district. The reason that's important is because the limited portion of that means that we have established additional restrictions on the type of zoning for the ground. So general employment is actual zoning, but we use limited general employment, which allows us to narrow the uses. It allows us to establish landscape requirements, setback requirements. And so what Chris is mentioning, all of these things that we do to protect residents or make it less burdensome for those nearby, go through that zoning process. So Mr. Shell is one of our planning commission members, and then Marlene and Andrew are our city council members. They help us get those rezonings through. So it starts at planning commission and sometimes through an advisory board before that, and then city council takes the last act on that.
And a lot of those standards aren't things that are created in a vacuum. As Hans, Andrea, and Marlene know, a lot of those standards are created over years. They're refined, they're chiseled at, they're made better as we continue to develop. But it sounds a little scary for maybe some private developer that says, hey, there's all these limitations. The L word's a little scary, but in reality, they like having kind of the playbook at the beginning of the project, to know what rules to be expected to play by. It helps set the proper expectations early on and eliminates a lot of risk, which is very, very important in the private sector.
Can you talk a little bit about how the wastewater treatment will be situated for a big facility like the Intel plant? Does it go to municipal wastewater, or how's that going to be handled?
So as far as their process water, that's something that they have to do internally that we don't fully look at. And there's different requirements that they work with Franklin County Public Health to meet that. So we have a contract with Franklin County Public Health for sewer inspections and wastewater inspections and things like that. As far as their actual water and sewer, those follow the city of New Albany water and sewer lines that are put in. We do get all of our water from the city of Columbus as a partnership, so that we kind of work together to be able to provide the right kind of inspection and meet the requirements between both of our standards.
So their disposal to their sewer just goes in with everybody else's?
Their regular sewer will just go in where everybody else is, but any processed water or anything that they use in their fabrication has a process that they have to handle on site, and that goes through a different treatment that really we aren't involved in. That's between them and the county.